G'day, and welcome to the Best of the Rest F1 podcast with Sticks and Fraser. Tune in weekly to hear everything Formula One.
G'day, you lovely people. You're listening to another episode of the Best of the Rest podcast. I'm Sticks.
And I'm Fraser.
And we are hyped because it's a race weekend.
Ooh, yeah.
We needed that weekend off.
Feeling refreshed?
Yeah, somewhat.
Rejuvenated?
Just keen to get back into the race, and we sort of got left on a little bit of a cliffhanger, so to speak, after Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of chit-chat about what goes on now. Is Norris mentally broken? Has Piastri run away with it? Have McLaren slowed up? Are they no longer the fastest team?
Yeah, well, Mercedes looked pretty quick last weekend.
You know, all those questions arise, and we just had to sit in it for a week.
Yeah. What can Norris do? Can he bounce back? Did it ruin his self-esteem? You have to tune in to find out.
He does that every bloody race weekend. Every time he makes a little mistake, he's like, I'm the worst driver in the world. But
I think it was pretty positive after the last one, though, wasn't he?
Well, you
just put both hands up and said, yep, that was me. Everyone agreed except for Jake Villeneuve.
He would be, if he beat the shit out of himself over that one, then there wouldn't be much left to him because that was a almighty fuck up.
Yeah.
Opposed to his other little mistakes where he starts ripping into himself.
Yeah.
But it's the Red Bull Ring that we're heading to this weekend, the Austrian Grand Prix, mate. What are your thoughts about the track?
I like the track. I think we have some good racing ahead of us. Last year we had Norris and Verstappen come together in a little tangle, which saw George Russell come through and reap the rewards, so to speak.
Russell he's been slowly just sitting in the background, chipping away the last couple of years. Everyone's been focused on Verstappen, Norris, and now Piastri this year. But if 26 Mercedes rock up and give Russell a quality car, could be the year of the big Russ.
It could be. Yeah, he could be a championship contender, that's for sure. He's sticking it where it needs to be at the moment with somewhat mediocre car, I guess, for a big team. So yeah, if they nail down the new regs and come out with a little rocket ship, could be on.
The big G Russ.
Big G Russ.
Hey.
Getting the G train.
So Red Bull Ring, personal favourite of mine. I don't know why, but it doesn't really produce the best racing consistently. But yeah, big fan of the track. I like driving the track. Flows nicely.
On the game.
On the game, yeah. Maybe one day in person.
Maybe.
Not in a Formula One car.
Oh, you never know.
They don't make them big enough for me.
We could cut a hole through the front wing so you can stick your legs out.
A bloody limo version of a Formula One car.
Yeah. That'd
be interesting.
Or you just have to sit with your shoulders out the top of the cockpit.
Cop all the bloody wind at 300k an hour.
You need a custom-made windscreen for you.
I'd need, the air intake would have to snake up even higher so that I don't snap my neck over the back of it.
Helmet just gets sucked in through the intake.
Jesus. Yeah, so if you didn't pick up, I'm very tall, so I wouldn't fit in a Formula One car.
No, probably not.
What's George Russell? Is he 6'1" or 6 foot?
I don't know, actually.
Because they was going about him being tall.
Yeah, and I guess he kind of, look really tall compared to the other drivers, but
they're all short asses.
Yeah, how tall he actually is.
Because Alex Albon's not too far off him, I believe. Like, he's quite tall. Okay, so Russell Brand has come up. So
Russell Brand is 1.87. 1.85. So
I think that's
that?
Basically just under 6'1".
I think 1.83 6 foot, isn't it?
It's pretty tall for a Formula One driver, but not necessarily tall out and about in the wild streets of the world.
No, he's not really that tall when you think about it.
So if they have to customise things for him to fit,
Yeah, 6'1".
Yeah, something about 6'7", 6'8" in a good day.
Yeah, a bit taller.
So yeah, you might
On a
have to
good
extend.
day.
Yeah.
Well, when it's hotter,
Just
expand a bit.
depend on my posture, where I'm
Feeling
walking around,
feeling confident.
feeling good that day.
Got the chest pumped out.
Bit of that action. But I've heard that Russell has to wear shoes that are slightly smaller than what he'd actually want to wear because they wouldn't fit in the car properly.
What? Well, like his toes would hit something. It's great.
His shoes would be too big to fit in the pedal box space.
Well, far out. Yours must be then.
So he's got to wear...
What size foot are you?
I'm only a 12, so I don't know what he is. Do some research on the fly, see if you can find it.
I don't know if it'll come up with George Russell's foot size, but you never know. I thought you would have had a bigger foot than that, to be honest, considering your height.
I'm glad that I'm only a 12 because any bigger you sort of struggle to get. Some shoes are 13, but...
Apparently he wears a size 11. But due to specific design of the F1 car, had to wear a size 10. So...
Yeah, right, so it's the downsize.
Yep, you were bang on.
Damn. What other Formula One podcasts do you get foot chat, mate? Bit of shoe chat early on.
Oh, if there's any people with foot fetishes out there, they've come to the right F1 podcast.
Yeah, we just don't have any visuals for you, sorry.
Which is good because I fucking hate feet.
Well, we didn't even know we were going to talk about feet, so there you go. So, back to the racing instead of the talking about George Russell's feet. This weekend we got 2 upgrades, as far as I'm aware, going into the race weekend. We got Ferrari with a floor upgrade and Mercedes with, to my knowledge at this point, undisclosed upgrades. There might have been a couple of things they might be trialling out, which will be interesting to see, especially considering Mercedes' competitiveness in the last race weekend. If they can up their game again, they may be up there fighting for podiums consistently and potential race wins.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't listening to anything you just said.
You're reading about Esteban Ocon.
I was too fixed on... it's given me all different drivers' heights and weights and bloody all sorts now. I've dived into a deep, dark hole here.
In other words, Freezer got distracted by something shiny. Ooh, what's going on over there?
It doesn't take much. So Alex Albon and Esteban Ocon are the tallest. It's only 1.86, so it still comes in at 6'1". 6'1". Yuki Tsunoda is the shortest and lightest, standing at 1.59 metres and weighing just 54 kilos. Lance Stroll is the heaviest driver, tipping the scales at 79 kilos, showing that weight still varies significantly amongst the drivers. This, whatever this page is, just essentially called Lance fat. Anyway, there you go.
Fat chat.
Hey, you almost made me repeat that.
Bloody, man, feet, back to a bit of racing and then some fat chat.
Yeah, I just get too easily distracted. So what a little recap. You're talking about upgrades.
Yeah.
Mercedes and Ferrari, and Mercedes looking quick, and what else did I miss?
Basically, I was just getting at that if Mercedes upgrades push them up the road a bit further with their competitiveness in Canada, they could potentially be fighting for podiums regularly and potential race wins, potentially.
Imagine seeing that.
That'd be... it'd be good, but at the same time, I think Russell and Antonelli are probably a little too far back to actually make a tilt at the championship if they all of a sudden had the fastest car.
So we saw Antonelli secure 3rd place last weekend. In your opinion, what's a more impressive result for Antonelli? The pole in the sprint or the 3rd place last weekend?
Oh, it's a hard question to answer because both are very impressive.
Which race was that? Miami pole?
China. I think. No, it wasn't China.
No, China.
It was Miami.
China was Hamilton.
China was Hamilton. Probably the sprint pole,
Sprint pole.
because you literally just dusted up everybody. But then it's like, to get a podium in a Grand Prix is also super impressive because you get the full length of a race and to be able to hold on.
Well, you can lock in the sprint pole if you like, because I'll go for the third place in the Grand Prix because he started fourth. He's overtaken the, what do you call him? Not the current world champion, the leading driver of the standings at the moment, Oscar Piastri, into turn one. Doesn't get distracted by what's going on behind with Oscar and Lando coming up towards the end of the race. Yeah, to me, just being able to hold that there and the maturity for a whole Grand Prix, 70 whatever laps, 70-something laps, I think. Yeah, I think to me that did it because, you can, like, it's very impressive to drive the, fastest lap of the session. But, yeah, for me, just being able to withstand the pressure of that whole Grand Prix.
I guess you could almost pair those two together and go look at the exciting prospect that is Antonelli, because pole in a sprint quali shows that he's quick over one lap, and then a podium in a Grand Prix shows that his race pace is there and he can manage the tyres and do all those fun things racing drivers need to do over the course of a race to stay competitive. So he's almost ticked two boxes. Yeah.
The future battles are going to be exciting if Antonelli keeps this kind of form up and starts getting, well, he does have a competitive car, but potentially even quicker and more competitive.
I think it's going to be another young Verstappen situation in terms of Toto would already have Antonelli lined up as the future number one driver, if not not number one driver now, but all eyes and all resources are probably going towards Antonelli in terms of future development. There's a little bit of a chit-chat around Russell's contract and how they've sort of delayed extending it. They reckon there's going to be an extension either soon or in the mid-season break. But, yeah, you can definitely see if Antonelli continues on this path that it might be another Verstappen-Ricciardo sort of situation where Russell is forced to go somewhere else because Mercedes are all chips in on Antonelli.
Do you think now that we've seen a bit more of Antonelli and these kind of great results already, do you think he'll win a race this year?
Depends on how good this upgrade package is. He needs a lot of things to go his way. Those McLarens are quick. Verstappen's a dog in a good way. And you've got to beat your teammate who's could be arguably the form driver of the comp to this point in the season.
Do you think he can win a race? Do you think he's got what it takes?
I think he's got the ability, but I don't think he'll probably win one this year. What do you think?
Yeah, similar kind of thought process too. I think he definitely can win a race, especially even this year. It just, like you kind of said, depends on what else is kind of going ahead in the races. If it is that Mercedes are quick, it's probably likely that Russell might be slightly quicker than Antonelli. So, yeah, I don't know. I've got a feeling that he might snag one though. So I'm gonna lock in that he'll win a race this year.
I'd love to see it. I feel like if he were to win one, it'd have to be a couple of drivers falling over each other further up the field that opens a door for him to have a crack at it. I just can't see him winning it on raw pace. But you never know. The scary thing is he's 18 years old. 18, 19?
18, I think.
18 years old,
He's
only
still at
10
school
races
anyway.
into his Formula One career, and he's already proving that he's clearly got what it takes.
Yeah, did you see he was doing his exams and came out of the exam room and there's just reporters and shit everywhere just trying to ask him all questions about the races and whatnot?
That'd do your head in.
Yeah, imagine you're just trying to get your exams done and you can already see all the reporters outside.
I know when I was doing my Year 12 exams, like I was just, locked in on trying to get those done and sort of stressing about, I've got the next one and I got to study. Imagine walking out to the car park at college and you've got a bunch of people there going, yeah, Freezer. How'd you go on your maths exam, mate?
I wonder if it'd be more or less pressure. Like, you're doing school exams, but essentially you're already set for life. Like,
You wouldn't give a
does
shit,
it
would
really
you?
matter? Like,
No.
oh shit, I got question 17 wrong on my maths exam. Oh well.
Like I guess he probably wants to learn, the basic level stuff, tick the boxes and probably pass his exams. But, I mean, the person that's in his grade that has nailed the exams and, still needs to go on and study and become XYZ, he's going to be so far ahead before they're even out of university because he's a Formula One driver getting paid who knows how many millions of dollars. He's living it, mate.
Yeah, he's got it dialed in, that's for sure.
The pressure's off. Well, in the financial aspect, but, you're talking very high pressure industry.
Yeah, and you got to not let that fame and money go to their head. So I haven't really seen it as much in sports like Formula One, but you see it a bit in other sporting codes.
I wonder if that's because a lot of these Formula One drivers end up sort of coming from money. So it's not like the rise of a football star that's come from nothing and now they're all of a sudden on, $500,000 a year and they feel like they're it. Where a lot of these Formula One drivers come from families that have got tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, his bloody pocket money's probably $1 million a year anyway.
So you're already used to that level, so it's not really this big shock where you think you're it because it's just the norm.
Wish I could have his pocket money.
Be nice. All right, you got any more to add before we jump into some predictions for this race weekend, Freezer?
No, I don't think so. Just pretty keen to get into another weekend and hopefully see some action-packed racing.
I'm hyped. Right, predictions time. I need to pull one out here because, man, I've been in some shocking form. Abysmal.
Abysmal. Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah.
If I was you, I'd be embarrassed. But you know what? This is just starting to pan out nicely for a great Aussie comeback. Just a Stephen Bradbury moment.
That's such a... I wonder if people get that reference. If not, Google it. And it was like the 2000 Olympics, 2000...
Yeah, it could have been. I'm not sure what year.
I don't know. Olympics, and will you tell the story?
Oh, you're going to throw it to me?
Yeah.
You just started it, and then you're just going to throw me under the bus.
He's a speed skater.
Yeah. Do you want me to get some better facts up?
No, he's a speed skater, and he's getting smoked.
Yeah, in the
final.
In the Olympics, in the final. I don't know where it was coming. Like, I don't even think it was podium.
It was dead last.
Was it?
Because then all of them wiped out.
Yeah, they're all going pretty hard around the corners for last lap or two, take each other out, and old Bradbury just comes through and
there's like
takes a win.
5 or 6 man pile up going into like the second last corner probably. Like there's bodies everywhere. Old mate just comes cruising through. Gold medal. Thanks for coming.
So that's the Bradbury moment. Stephen Bradbury.
Probably not remembered outside of Australia, but for us it was a...
Yeah, I don't know
classic.
if it is or not.
I mean, we would have been bloody...
We see
kids.
it around a lot, but I don't know if other people do.
What year was it?
It was a 1,000-metre final at the 2002 Winter Games.
02, right, yeah. So we didn't see it live, obviously, because we were fucking children.
Yeah, and we still see heaps of it.
So it's hectic. All right, predictions time. We'll jump into pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix, Freezer. Do you want to lead us away?
Yeah, certainly. So for pole position, I've gone Lando Norris.
Oh, you're backing him to bounce back.
I'm backing him. Bounce straight back into it like a little fucking kangaroo.
Clutching at straws there.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Fucking
I
kangaroo.
think I was distracted by you trying to smack me in the face with a cushion. Yeah, I think he'll bounce back. I don't think he'll be overly deterred by his incident a couple of weeks ago. I think he's had plenty of time to recover and recoup, and he'll come back out firing and prove himself with putting a bit of speed down, a bit of rubber on the track.
Good to see you backing in your papaya boy.
Someone's got to.
He's under the pump big time going into this race weekend. I think probably more so than ever. If he lets that margin extend for Piastri, he might be in a little bit of strife. If he bottles it as another Q3 choke, that's basically what he's been doing. Actually, I saw a breakdown of Q1, 2 and 3 comparison between Norris and Piastri. Norris is consistently quicker in Q1, Q2 than Piastri.
Yeah.
But bottles it in Q3. Like, he's rarely much quicker than he is in Q2. Makes too many mistakes at crunch time, and Piastri's just the Iceman, and Piastri always performs to his best in Q3 and gets a quicker time of the whole session for himself. So, yeah, that's the mindset for you.
I don't have any facts to back this, but I'm pretty sure I heard that most of his Q2 times have been quicker than his Q3 times. And obviously it has been in a couple of the races where he's bottled the Q3 as well, but I think even some of the ones where he didn't go as poorly has still been quicker in Q2 time than 3.
Comes down to mentality, doesn't it?
Mm.
A lot more pressure in Q3. And I mean, it's understandable. You would be fucking nervous sitting in that seat and waiting for the time to tick down for you, roll out of the garage to go out to Q3, and, you know, all eyes on you. You're expected to win the championship. You've talked a little bit of shit at the end of 2024 season that 25's yours, and, you know, they start churning over in the brain.
Yeah, well, it's not quite like, you know, AFL or something where, say, you've taken a mark, you line up for goal, you walk back slowly, you know, you're compartmentalising everything, you're taking deep breaths, you're calming it down, you're like getting yourself focused. As soon as you're on that lap, like, or even the out lap in Formula One, you're like, you need to be on it, like 100%. There can't be the smallest slip up or anything, or it's detrimental.
A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. All right. Well, I've gone to a different pole position for you, mate.
Who have you gone?
Maxi Verstappen.
Ooh.
He loves a bit of Red Bull Ring.
Yeah.
It's the home circuit for Red Bull, and he's got a good history there. He loves to score some points. He loves to have a red hot crack. Loves chucking it up there in the pole position. So I'm just going to back him in to do it again. He's motivated. He wants to have a red hot crack. He's had a little bit of a sniff after where was that George Russell and Max incident? What track were we at then? Spanish Grand Prix, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it was.
he was a bit flat after that, but, you know, bounced back. Had a decent result. Took a few points out of the McLarens.
Yep.
Give him a sniff and he'll be on. I'm backing him. Pole position.
That just, reconfirms me how boring Canada was when they ended the Grand Prix prior with all that spice, starting next to each other on the grid, 1 and 2, coming into turn 1. Here we bloody go. Nothing. Not a fucking thing.
Predictable.
But you think they'll have a car quick enough for him?
Yep.
Yeah?
Backing him. You don't need a quick car. You got Verstappen.
Oh. So Sonoda won't be up there then?
Oh, mate. No. Definitely not.
Do you reckon there's something wrong with the actual second car? Like,
Nah, I reckon it's designed for Verstappen's driving style, and he can just hang it on the absolute fucking limit somehow. So, no, Verstappen will be on pole and Tsunoda will be lucky to hit Q3. That's not going to change.
Can't remember what the other piece of information was, but it was something like Hulkenberg was going to be... He was rumoured or one of the choices to be Verstappen's teammate after Albon and Gasly and all that. It might have even been before him.
That would have been hectic.
Yeah, so he was... Hulky B was almost teammate to Verstappen.
He almost ended his career early.
Well, maybe. Maybe he was one driver that could handle it.
Nah, I don't think anyone can. Danny Rick was the only man that extracted some pace out of that shit box.
Get him back in.
Yeah, bring him out of retirement.
Yeah.
Pay him a bag. All right, podium, mate. Third position.
I've gone for a Ferrari driver, Charles Leclerc.
Ooh.
I just feel like they're starting to build a little bit. You mentioned earlier that they're coming in with an upgrade or two.
Floor upgrade.
Got a floor upgrade. So,
backing him in.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? He has done pretty well here in the past, so given a reasonable car, I think he can land the podium.
Nice, I like it.
Who have you got, son?
Got the current championship leader in third, Piastri.
That's blasphemy.
Third position, the Piastri.
Absolute blasphemy.
Just vibes.
Just vibes.
Yeah, just vibes.
Shit vibes.
No other thoughts other than just vibes.
Who have you got in second then?
Norris. Just
I've
vibes.
also got Norris.
Just vibes.
I've got that he will not convert the pole.
Fuck. He'd have to be up there with the amount of poles to non. Oh no, sorry, that's Leclerc's specialty, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a terrible
fucking
run for it. But not even his fault. He was just getting poles where he shouldn't have, really.
He's just rapid over a lap.
Yeah.
Fucking rapid.
He was getting, even in 23, when Verstappen was dominating, Leclerc was still pinching poles, at quite a few tracks. But the Red Bulls were just way too quick that, Verstappen would just take it. But
Well, I think Norris's stat was losing positions on the first lap, wasn't it? Regardless of where he started, he was just dropping spots.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one was, but that was like...
Hectic.
Yeah, there was like 4 races or something where he started started on pole and didn't lead by the end of the first lap.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
And most of them went by the first corner.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Right. Mentality again. First position, mate.
Championship leader.
Hey.
Piastri.
Backing him in to extend the lead.
Yep. I think there's somehow going to be a change of position between the McLarens. I don't know what. I don't think it's going to be a favoritism of a driver of Piastri at all yet. I think they're going to...
Interesting.
I think, and actually while we're touching on that briefly, what's your kind of thoughts on the McLaren battle with the two drivers? What do you think they'll do going forward here?
The only way I see it changing from their current just let them race is if Verstappen closes the gap and then potentially overtakes Norris, and then letting Norris and Piastri race is potentially going to stop either of them from getting the Drivers' Championship because Verstappen keeps chipping away. Like they'll have to go priority in on whoever's leading at that point, but it's probably Piastri. I think you have to prioritise him. Then you can't be okay. Like let them race and then Verstappen runs them both down, and you end up just with the constructors.
Yep.
I think that's the only way I can see it changing from the just let them race.
Hate to say it, but I 100% agree. I think, they're just going to let them race right to the fucking end, and unless there's literally threat to one of the titles, then there's not going to be priority. Because I've heard people saying already that, now that Piastri's got the 22-point lead or whatever, that they're just going to keep giving him priority. No, I think that's bullshit. I don't think they'd even give a fuck if Norris caught up to him and passed him in the Drivers' Championship. As long as it's McLaren's 1-2 in their Drivers' Championship and more so Constructors is building a nice gap. They're not going to care which drivers
Yeah, they just
first
want
or second.
both titles.
Yeah.
And I think realistically, if you got two number one drivers and they both believe they're number one drivers and the other driver isn't getting a priority over them, if you turn around and go, okay, yeah, we're prioritising driver A, the whole dynamic in the team just switches up. It changes. And you're not going to keep two alpha number one drivers in the same team when they know that they may not be the priority. So if you see that happen, I can see Norris going, you know what, I'm out. Like if Piastri's the number one man, I need to go and be the number one man somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because Norris is not going to want to be the second driver, nor is Piastri. So they either let this you're both equal mentality ride out, and if it does get to crunch time, it puts them in a really difficult position because I feel like it would almost be disrupting the future by saying, even though it's the smart decision to make, it would be disrupting the future by saying, okay, well, we're prioritising Piastri because he's a lead in ahead in the Drivers' Championship. I think you'll be going, okay, well, Norris will probably be moving on in the next year or two.
Yeah, they'll shoot themselves in the foot.
Because I guess, I can't see that those two drivers are top talents and they both want an equal shot at winning the championship on merit, not getting to a point where, Norris feels hard done by. Because you imagine if he has the pace for the second half of the season and he's 1-2 and then Verstappen's third, for example, and the McLaren are on the radio saying swap positions.
Yeah.
That'd suck.
Yeah, spewing.
Anyway.
Righto. What do you go for the win?
Verstappen, mate.
Verstappen.
Pole through to first.
Untouchable.
Just vibes.
Vibes.
Yeah, just nothing but vibes.
Nothing but vibes this weekend.
I'm just following the vibes to see whether I can, wade out in those waters and get a few points because I desperately need some.
Yeah, unlike the vibes from Essendon Football Club.
Don't even bring them up, mate. That's blah, blah. Left of field. I've gone with Haas, one car in the top 8.
Just one?
Yeah. Oh, fucking... Jeez, I should get like 5 points.
I was going to say, you sure you want to limit yourself to that, but fucking oath. If you get it wrong because both cars are in the top 8, then fucking hell.
Do I need to put a disclaimer there? A Haas or multiple Hasses?
If you want to, because that would be your luck.
All right. A Haas or multiple Hasserers.
Is that the plural, is it? One Haas or two Hasserers?
I think I'm really hanging it out there anyway to say a Haas will finish in the top 8.
I think so, but
if by off chance...
Seeing your luck lately.
They both just strap one on and, anything could happen. Throwback to an earlier episode there.
Yeah, I was thinking of trying to continue that joke a bit. Double down a bit on it, but...
Left of field, mate, left of field, before we get wacky.
Left of field, I've got Williams double points.
Oi. They need it.
A double points haul from Williams. When did we last see it? There was one reasonably early on. It wasn't Australia because Sainz crashed out. It might have been second or third round.
They've had a rough 3 or 4 races at this point, so...
And they just snuck in a double points finish because someone DNF late in the race.
Got a pen or something.
Yeah, or a penalty or something like that. But anyway, I'm thinking Williams double points.
Nice.
I'm not going to go into anything further than that for who or who's higher or where or anything, but our one's been pretty consistent except for a bit of misfortune last weekend.
I'm sure he'll feature again on the radio broadcast during the race. They love to throw him out there when he gets a bit shitty at the team. That's been a running theme for this year, is just Albon whinging at the team. I
think it's just because he's the most placid kind of driver and because he's like his, quotation aggressiveness is still so polite and well spoken that they're like, oh, look at this.
Let's jump on this.
Yeah, rather than Verstappen absolutely tearing shreds off his entire team.
Yeah, even though he's in first and 40 seconds down the road and he's still ripping them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, drop the ball. Lead us away. Who do you think's going to absolutely bottle it this weekend?
I've gone Colapinto.
Oh. So after a little bit of rapport building.
Yeah, he's got that little bit of form back, but I think he's just going to drop the ball again, just with all the pressure and talk and all that around the 5-race contract. And yeah, I just don't think he's really fully grasped it this year. He hasn't grabbed hold of the bull by the horns, so to speak.
A lot of pressure. And it hasn't been the same driver that we saw last year. Like, he come out firing, aggressive, hectic results, a couple prangs here and there, but he's been definitely a lot more, what's come across, he's been a lot more timid. It's almost like he knows this is my seat to lose now, not let's show him what I've got type of mentality. So, yeah, pressure. We'll see how that one unfolds.
Who do you think will drop the ball this weekend, Sticks?
Similar position, but different team, Liam Lawson.
Oh.
Just
got to be careful there.
Can't make a run of it at the moment. As we all know, started in Red Bull, demoted to RB. Now he's getting his ass kicked by Hadjar. He just looks very second rate. I believe his contract expires at the end of this year. So, yeah, got some work to do or else he could really be in some trouble.
Do you think we're going to see a third driver change before the season's out?
Potentially at RB. Like, I could see them, if Lawson has another bunch of shit races, I can see them going, all right, out. And then Ken Arvid, what's his name? Lindblad?
Lindblad.
Is he eligible for Formula One this year?
I think he can be. He had to get an exemption for his super license. I'm not sure if they've got it passed yet. I know they were trying to push for Canada in case Verstappen did get himself banned.
Because I can see them going, okay, Liam, he's not, our future doesn't lie with him. Get him out and get our future in that second team and, get some races into him.
It's only Lindblad's first season in F2 though. Like, he is doing well, but I don't know if he'd be ready for that second seat.
I guess it all depends on whether Red Bull want to be the ruthless cutthroat selves of, okay, see you, Liam.
I think Rosberg was saying as well after last weekend that even if you got offered that second seat, like, say, Hadjar, he's, driving really well and really proven himself, that he said that you'd actually turn it down. Like, getting that quote-unquote promotion to Red Bull would actually ruin his career.
Yeah.
So the best thing Hadjar could do is, or probably just stay in RB because he's doing well. Like, he's actually doing really well. Or, wait for another one of those top teams maybe to open up a seat for him.
Hopefully that Red Bull is more drivable in the new regs in the 2026 era. But, yeah, I fully agree because drivers' stocks, they pick up and they decline race to race. So we think back to when, how many races, half a dozen races ago or so, when Yuki was in that second team and dominating, and everyone's like, damn, Yuki's like started the year on fire, and now he's in that Red Bull and he's performing like every other second driver in that Red Bull seat. No one's talking about him. He's forgotten about. He's on the back burner. It's sort of like Yuki's meh. And your career will stagnate and it'll drop off. So I can 100% see that. You just want to keep showing what you can do in a more standard Formula One car that most drivers can actually drive and extract some pace out of, and then see what happens from there.
It's just crazy to think, isn't it? Like, it's the car that's won the last 4 drivers' championships, and you don't want to get in it. It's like weird.
It's wacky, and I know we've gone over it before, but it's just Red Bull have put themselves in a situation where they're at Verstappen's mercy, because if he turns around and goes, "See, boys, I'm out. I'm going to Mercedes," doesn't matter who you put in that seat. All of a sudden, Red Bull as a team is probably the 5th fastest team out there, because no one's going to be able to extract that car that's been developed in that position for so long.
They could be worse, to be honest.
Imagine they're behind RB.
Actually, here's a stat for you. If Verstappen wasn't in Red Bull, or it was, say, Tsunoda and Lawson together the whole season, Red Bull would be last.
Oh,
Or it might have been second last.
that is insane.
They were literally that far down the fucking order. Like Sauber and that well ahead of them.
Just don't think it's wise for Red Bull to have all their eggs in one basket. Because if they aren't quick next year, Verstappen, he'll leave. He's not going to hang around and drive in a midfield car and not see any podiums or championships on the horizon. So then what do you do? Anyway, bit of a mess.
Fucked.
Crazy. Right, on that note, time to box.
Righto, let's retire today's episode. If you've liked us, then leave us a comment, give us a 5-star review, follow, share, subscribe, do all that good shit. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Oh, look at this. This is not a dog. This is a piece of shit.
Wave his magic driving stills.
Wow.